This is Lena at Remembering Wholeness, and I'm so excited today because I finished my video on the four nights of my ayahuasca journey. It has been over 2 months since I've been back from the journey, and I will say that what I am noticing mainly is that I'm just feeling more myself, more courageous, more willing to do things that scare me, and kind of not giving a shit what other people think. So it's a huge freedom for me, and I hope that you enjoy. The actual first night was really visceral for me. I was undulating and moving and feeling myself, and all this energy releasing and releasing and releasing. I mean, it just didn't stop. And I would say the first night was mainly just me laying on the bed and like just moving around and just feeling the energy leaving. And I was also feeling moments where I just wanted to be still and meditate. And towards the end of my journey, I went outside and I really wanted to put my feet in the grass, and I was a little wobbly because of the medicine. And then I started doing some qigong, and the music was phenomenal, so beautiful and amazing. And I found myself starting to dance, and I haven't danced in a really long time. And it was so beautiful to feel the energy flow and to feel my body so free and to be able to connect with nature and to connect with my body in such an amazingly beautiful way. So I'm going to use a coin analogy, with fear being on one side, and on the other side of this coin is courage. And this is the gift really for everybody, not just for me, is that the universe didn't make a mistake. It didn't make a mistake making fear and having us experience fear, because on this earth plane we have this opportunity to cultivate courage. And when we cultivate courage, we have strength. And we have strength, we can go beyond what we think or feel that we are capable of doing. And for me, the strength is to look at the conditionings and the beliefs that our society and our families have put on us and we have taken on, and we need strength to be able to break out of these patterns of brainwashing and beliefs. So we need courage and we need strength to find our freedom. And fear cultivates courage, and courage cultivates strength. The second night was really intense, really, really intense. And it's kind of funny because I thought, someone had mentioned that it was like the easy night, and I was joking around thinking like, oh, this is going to be my unicorn night. I'm going to be travel and it's going to be all beautiful. And it was not. It was so friggin' painful, and I was so grateful. I got a new solar plex. It was an amazing journey. My entire solar plex was rebuilt, and that is a simply an amazing gift. The solar plex being the center of our power and the center of our being, and also a place where we hold fear. So there was a connection between understanding fear the first night and now the second night having the ayahuasca rebuild my solar plex. And I asked her at one point if I could see what was going on, and there are no words to describe the amazing vision that I saw. But I will try. It was a three-dimensional sacred geometry kaleidoscope that was infinite. And in this space were light filaments, infinite amounts of light filaments. And what I observed is that the light filaments that were dimmed or had darkened were being replaced by brand new bright light filaments. And it was exquisite, and I was so joyful and so happy. As the third night, we were getting closer to the journey, I did start to feel a lot of emotional vulnerability. And even though I was clear that I was going to go to the ceremony, I would say that was the hardest night for me to get to the ceremony. Feelings were coming up. I was feeling it's very raw. I'm really, really vulnerable, and my body was extremely weak, and I was feeling very tired. Third night was the conclusion of the second night. So in this evening, there was still a lot of physical sensations, enormous amount of physical sensations, and my body was being worked on continually. And then at a certain point, I don't know what time that was, but it was well into the evening, there was a shift that happened, and I felt as though the ayahuasca was engaging with me, and she basically led me towards healing, doing the final stages of this healing to myself, and to support me in my healing abilities and that which I share with others to apply to myself. And that was a very, very beautiful experience. There was a moment as I was working the energies of my body and singing on a vibrational level to my body, not thinking about what I was doing, but feeling what I needed to do. There was a moment where all of a sudden everything just calmed and sort of like fell into place, I might say. Just kind of everything just fit, and there was this deep peacefulness and this deep calm, and I felt hugely relieved, extremely joyful, and I felt that I was infused with so much love, and there was so much love around me. The final night happened, and there was a sense of specialness in the air, I guess. This night, a shaman that was very highly revered was coming to lead our night. This night was different. It started later, and we were told that this would go the entire night and conclude at sunrise. We would be doing a closing ceremony. My intention that night was to have fun, and I mean it in a way that is intimately fun to me. And fun to me is filled with depth and intimacy and connection and learning and growth. And the second part of the intention for that night was to learn more about how my gifts could be of service to others. This night was different than the other nights. It was very internal, and I had more energy, I would say, that there was this life force that was moving through me, and I was drawn to go to where the small altar was in the center of the room where there were crystals, and I felt as though I wanted to take in and participate with these crystals, and I sat for most of my journey in front of these crystals, experiencing them and feeling this incredible amount of love and care for everyone around me. And since I had placed myself in the middle of the room, there was a sense of participating in the orchestration of the energy that was happening in the space. I felt as though I had an important role in this participation, and I felt so honored to be part of it. The profound gift of that night was when I was sitting and being with the crystals. I heard myself, I heard this internal voice say, I know who I am. I know what I am. And it became a mantra. I know who I am. I know what I am. I know who I am. I know what I am. And there was so much joy in this. It's like, I know who I am and I know what I am. It was so beautiful. So I got up at some point and I walked over to the shaman, and I was so filled with gratitude, and I just asked him if I could give him a hug. And then I just looked at him so deeply in his eyes and thanked him, and I said, I know who I am. I know what I am. Thank you so much. And it was so silly and so beautiful and so arriving. There was a feeling of arrival. Knowing who I am, what I am, and then the third part of it is I know how to serve. And there was a joy and a celebration in that knowing.